We are back for video number 2 of our healthy eating video series. As a quick review, last video I showed you what are the types of foods you want to eat and how much of those foods you want to eat. And I also talked about this idea of eating slowly as a way to help your digestion and manage your appetite. And lastly, I talked about this idea of eating to 80% full. So really listening to your body, eating just enough so you feel satisfied, not stuffed. It's another great way to manage your appetite. Today we're going to talk about meal preparation. I'm going to give you some tips and tactics to make you a meal prep ninja. This is a great way to make sure that you get your healthy eating in no matter how busy you are. So there's 5 steps I'm going to talk about today that are going to help you manage your meal prep. Step number 1, you want to look ahead. So this is all best done on the weekend. So Saturday, Sunday, whichever day of the weekend you have the most time available. Generally this takes about 15 minutes or so to plan out your meals for the week. So look at the days where you may need to have a meal prepped ahead of time. You may not have time that day to prep a meal. So pick those out, and all you need is a simple calendar. Mark out your days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the way to the end of the week. Put in your breakfast, lunch, supper, and just list what you're going to have those days. Because if you plan ahead, then you don't have to make a decision in the moment. And once the decision is made, it's much easier to follow through. So once you've done your planning for your week, step number 2 is to make a menu. So think about those foods we talked about yesterday. What are your favorite types of veggies? 2/5 of veggies. What do you like to have? Make a list of those and put them in the calendar. Step number 2, you want to make sure that you have your palm full of protein. Okay? So what are your favorite proteins that you like to have and eat on a regular basis? Healthy fat, thumb full of healthy fat. What are some healthy fats that you like to eat? Your avocado oils, your nuts, your seeds, whatever those may be, make a list of those. Lastly, and one of the things we didn't talk about was the carb component. People say, well, what about carbohydrate? Those don't fit in. Well, vegetables have carbohydrate in them, generally speaking. But if you're looking for a specific carb like a rice or quinoa or something like that to add to your meal, that's totally fine. Generally speaking, a palm-full size of a smart carb in your meal is a great supplement as well. So you may be thinking, well, great, I write down all of these foods. How do I actually put them together? Lucky for you, I have added into the email today is this kitchen prep guide. And it offers some great review of what we talked about as far as your meal prep's concerned, but also some great ideas for recipes and food combinations that you can put together. So I take that work away from you and give you some tools to make that meal preparation super easy. So step number 3 is we want to shop for the ingredients. So this will take a little bit of time, but if you make your list of items beforehand, shopping becomes easy. You'll have everything you need for the week. Then when you come home, you can start to cook for the week. And you particularly want to cook on those days that you've identified as ones that you know you're not going to have time to make a full meal that day. So what can you prep ahead of time? Your meats. So your poultries, your beefs, your porks, your eggs you can hard boil if you need to. You could cook your veggies, potatoes a lot ahead of time. So a lot of these things can be done in advance on that Saturday or Sunday and then stored in the fridge. Simple tool, Tupperware containers. You can stick them in here, then they're good to go for all week. Now when it's time to prep your meal, you just take that food out and it's a matter of reheating it, which literally takes minutes, and your meal is prepped. So again, your 5 steps to make meal prep simple and easy is 1, look ahead. Get out your calendar, see which days you're actually going to have time to prep a meal versus days where you may need to have meals prepped in advance. 2, make a menu, breakfast, lunch, supper each day of the week When you lay it out and make the decision ahead of time, you're way more likely to eat healthy on those days. 3, you want to shop for your ingredients. So once you've made your menu, collect a list of those ingredients. And again, in this guide I sent you, there'll be lots of ideas for recipes, so not to worry about that. And 4, you want to cook for the week. Once you get those groceries home, figure out what you need to prep ahead of time, especially on those busy days. Then it's just a matter of storing it in the fridge in your Tupperware containers. You take them out, you put your ingredients together for your meal, and voila! In a few minutes of reheating, you'll have your meal ready to go. Fast, easy, efficient ways to make sure that you're healthy eating every day of the week. So stay tuned tomorrow, and we're going to show you how to prep some simple meals so that you have healthy eating all week. We'll talk to you soon.